you can just take over for a few minutes and just check with everybody and ask them if everything is okay. Mr. Rashi? Hello? Rashi, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, I think I'll just call up Rashi and I'll request him also to...
Understand.
Yeah. I hope all of you are comfortable, and I hope the electricity remains, because I'm told in New Bombay area, there are areas where we are not getting electricity, and a lot of mariners and a lot of companies are there also, sir, where we had circulated your talk show. And we hope that some of them will be able to join soon if they can. They have the internet facility there. But because of some reason, I think today some people are having an issue with their internet. But hopefully the rest of the people will be happy to join. And I would like everybody for the moment to just, say a hi on the chat, and welcome to Captain Puneet also. He is a very senior master mariner. And I was very happy that recently I got in touch with him, and that is where he agreed to come and give his insight on how we can benefit from his experience of the past many decades and last 2 decades as a master mariner. So not only that, he will be able to help us with the issues of seafarer that he would have seen over the broad spectrum of time. But he is also a journalist by kind of a, initially most probably the hobby, but now he's looking at it as a profession also. And that is why he is very much interested in ensuring that he is abreast with what is happening around the world, in the country, and how everybody would be benefiting out of all this. So this is how it is for the moment. And just we'll wait for some more time before we start off with the proceedings. Some people have come in. I welcome everybody who has already come in well in time. But let's give us some more time for other friends of ours who might be too particular to join exactly at 4 o'clock. And we can take things ahead from there. Meanwhile, I would like to introduce our companies, the partner companies through which we are associated with. One is Nevoxel, that is into HR recruitment and consultancy. One is Brood Squad Services, who are our media partner also, and they help us to bring out this professional system, a webinar system that we can have. Then we have this real estate advisory by Winning Paths, another associate of ours, who helps us to get into office property and such things. And especially we help a lot of superintendents who join through us in Mumbai to get them good accommodation and help them to get a very reasonable, economical accommodation as per Bombay standards. So, and of course, I am from Alai Maritime and Legal Consultancy. I am Captain Rahul Verma. I am also an advocate practicing in Mumbai and Goa. And last 15 years, I've been ashore in various capacity and doing various jobs. And over a period of time, I have been writing articles, blogs on maritime and legal issues and other such areas. And this is how I got in touch with Captain Puneet also. And seeing his vast experience, I requested him to spend some time with us and discuss some of the issues that are happening around us. One of the things which I explained to him was about our Mira Wellness, which is there. Mira Wellness is a joint initiative of Nevoxel and Alai Maritime for the wellness of the seamen, people in logistic industries and other corporate areas. And Captain Puneet's experience was what I wanted to use for our seamen and the people in logistics and maritime area to understand how we can deal with the present scenario and the changing times. As you know that there is a lot of change and a lot of issues which are there. And that is why I thought we will make a passage plan to go through, and who best can guide us than a seasoned master mariner. And that is what prompted me to call Captain Puneet Malhotra in order to help us understand this. So before I continue, there are some I tried to bring out the most important things. There were many other things which I could have spoken about Captain Malhotra, but he's a seasoned seafarer since past 4 decades, who has endeavored through the rungs and under the tenacious circumstances as a sailor since 1979. And until to date, of course, he's still sailing. In all capacities, he has weathered the storms umpteen number of times, and under the blessings of Lord Neptune, has managed to challenge in the concurrence with the statutory requirements as well as the commercial obligations. I don't need to tell you what all a master has to go through. A lot of the people out here, I can see themselves are masters. I am sure you will understand that how things are and how changing scenarios over the period of time he has seen. In a nutshell, he has sailed on board all types of ocean-going vessels in all capacities and presently serving as master for almost 2 decades. Mainly tankers, crude oil, chemicals, and has been actively involved with offshore industry as far as conversions, commissions on offshore platforms like FPSO and FSO and MODU in concern, and has served in capacities of OIM and mooring master respectively. Furthermore, for the past 8 years, he has been practicing entrepreneurship as far as freelance journalism is concerned, and has participated in many live debates on national television with renowned journalists and personalities. Since then, he has been on national debates, and now how it was feasible keeping the ball rolling with inceptions of having long-term vision. He is also an entrepreneur in writing books on hydrodynamics and has managed to simplify the subject matter. Presently, he is also mentoring a lot of people, and including me. I have requested him to guide me also ahead in especially journalism and writing. And I hope with all his blessings, we will be taking ahead into the passage plan very soon. So just to abreast you of what we are going to go about, which most of you were sent an email, where this is the passage plan through the COVID-19 that we are going to talk about. Before I continue, I request all of you others who are there to put off your videos so that the reception might be much better through the presenter, and you will get a better audio signal also if your videos are off. So for the moment, if all of us can put off our video, it'll be very nice. And also if you can keep yourself mute so that others don't get disturbed by any other calls or people walking around or any noises around you. So apart from the presenter and me, for the moment, I request that all of you put off the audio. And furthermore, any questions that come, please keep writing in the public chat. I have an option of shared notes, which is above our names, which is there. I'll keep writing those questions out there and ensure that at a later stage when Captain Malhotra is, while he's delivering his talk, we will ensure that he can answer those questions as appropriately and then take things ahead for us. Any other issue of net or talk or video or not able to listen, first try to log out and log in so that normally things get all right with that. Even if it does not get all right after that, do write in the question box Our IT controller, Mr. Rajshi, is already there along with us also, and he would be happy to share with you whatever best can be done on a private chat after that. So I would love to see all of you say that you are all ready, and I would like to take a poll now with one question which I'll write here. So the question is, are all happening, healthy and happy? That is the question for the poll to start with, and I will give you a choice of yes or no. So can you say yes or no please to me for the poll? Mr. Manish says he is not happy or healthy or something else. So I'll ask Mr. Manish to write down which part of it he is not in really good mood. Mr. Sunil Pada also says that no. I wish that after the talk you will have the right aim to be more happening, healthy and happy. I am waiting for others to just give an answer to me. It is good to see that everybody is happening and healthy and happy. Can I have the rest of the people to answer also, please, before we continue? I hope all of you can see the poll which is there and you know how to answer it. If you have any problem in answering the poll, please write it there. Captain Bapat is happy. Sir, Captain Saab, are you not happening also and also healthy? I hope your health is all well. Oh, wow,
yeah.
That is good. Very nice. Very good. Very good. So, fine. Now that we have here enough familiarization with the system, Captain Puneet, are you ready to take over the baton now and all yours, all the show is yours, sir?
Right, sir, with your permission, certainly with your permission, I certainly would
Please.
Like to take the podium.
Please, sir. All yours, sir. Welcome
All right,
to the show, sir.
And thank you, and I welcome all of you, and good evening, all of you, and I hope all of us are hale and hearty and safe and sound by grace of God. Coming to the question, like a preamble, I'd like to say, I've been associating with Captain Rahul Verma for quite some time, and I really commend his entrepreneurship, first and foremost, coming from a mariner's background. Then he's been a qualified lawyer, perhaps I can say a legal eagle, and what I've seen his ventures in past, he has shared quite a few infos with me, and I see him like, he's done a fantastic job as far as whether it's about the welfare of maritime industry or endeavoring into his own domain as a lawyer. I wish him all the best. I also very much thank all the people associated with you, your financiers, your liaisons, which have really made this kind of a podium by virtue of which, from a mariner's perspective, we can have a kind of, one-to-one conversation as well. And furthermore, last but not the least, Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, what he mentions that it should be Swadeshi, made in India. And I think that's where you also have done a commendable job on this app, which is Gupshup.
Yes, sir, it is all Indian and it is made by...
Certainly, we have to strive to the indigenization. That is, of course, that should be the mantra. And you have done certainly very well, as I've also attended quite a few of your talk shows. It is quite impressive.
Thank you, sir.
Nonetheless, coming to the agenda, to the point, as we all are getting grounded under the similar scenario of COVID-19, which certainly has very adversely affected all parts of walks of life as well. Now, when we talk of this passage planning, of course, this may be, in a way, perhaps could be construed by a few people as a bird eye view, but this is just to break the ice to start with it. Now, we have been in the media today, watching the news, what we are looking at the media, maybe because of their TRPs and all, anywhere and everywhere we see nothing but COVID. To the extent that it has started psychologically governing our life, if not out at sea, but even the domestic life. We have been made so apprehensive about the facts, which certainly, definitely governs our life also. Now, if I come to the point like how we have been making the passage planning basis, the similar guideline we have managed to convey, or we are managing to convey, and also try to get the feedback from all the attendees that what best can be done. Number one is to show the solidarity towards our mariners, the ones who are stuck out at sea, who have not been able to sign off because of the COVID-19 constraints. Number two, what can we do proactively to promote our seafarers, because somewhere down the line there may be a juncture by virtue of which the adversities may affect us so drastically that it may hit us below our belt. So we, by the mode of discussion and these webinars, it gives us food for thought. Also, it's been a brainstorming session by virtue of which we can have a different perception. Like, one man is not a walking encyclopedia. At the same time, too many cooks may spoil the broth. So, coming to this point, when we talk about the appraisal of a passage plan, we first have to see like what we are coming across now, that lots of companies, even our autonomous bodies like DG Shipping is also doing lots of things, as what we see in the media and the webinars and loads of things. They're trying to promote our seafarers, trying to make it easier or to facilitate their journey, whether it's in India or abroad. Yes, presently the international connections have not been open, and there have been lots of endeavors which have been taking place to fly the seafarers by the charter flight to Colombo and then connect them. Yes, that's a very good, to begin with it, a very good thing to talk about, and something somebody has already tried to pioneer into it. Now, from that point of view, when I say be seafarers, as I've been, introduced, yes, almost 4 decades out at sea, we have seen the thicks and thins, whether it's been the recession of 80s, thereafter booming up for the jobs. When we talk about 80s, there was so much scarcity of job that the people had somewhere down the line that thought of changing the profession. I can recall a few of my batchmates who, because of the scarcity of job in 80s, had to look for some other job on the shore infrastructure, maybe the banking or working with some corporate sector. For that, they may have to qualify for some other examinations, etc. What I foresee that, looking at from that point of view, we definitely will have a turf under these constraints. So the status quo is still there. We have to strive. Now, how can we, during this time, as I was reading some article yesterday that I think there are some 2,500 jobs cuts are there for Indian mariners. I do not know whether it's correct or not. It's not yet been authenticated. I've seen on the media. Please, if somebody has better authenticated information on as of now, please do correct me. I'll be humbly, politely, very much honored to be corrected, because when we talk about something, we have to own the responsibility for the facts. And coming to the COVID, we now stand perhaps on the seventh rung, that is from top seven, and our tally goes to more than 208,000 as of the figure what I'd seen around 10 minutes ago, and probably it's still increasing. Though the active cases and the recovered cases are almost approximately in the vicinity of 50-50, but the state of demise, the deaths, the fatalities which have taken place have gone probably in the range of 5K. Now, this not only to the mankind, but also adversely affects our morale. Like, for instance, I have been talking with a lot of my colleagues, my people, or the people who have sailed with me. I've interacted with them. The thing, what I have come across, when I take cumulatively, is that people are apprehensive that when we are going to join, how safe we are, because as of now, there are very few countries which are allowing Indian mariners to join the vessel in their country after following the modus operandi of the quarantine procedures what they have laid down. Therefore, one is COVID, which is not allowing us to join, and number two, there are people who are still helping to join. I respect them and respect their what they intend to do because of the etc. I respect that, but there is another school of thought from different. Yes, sir. Hello.
Captain sir, before you continue, I would like to know that you have been talking to the mariners and a lot of them have been approaching you. So
yes,
what
sir.
do you think is the present, of course, everybody is working very diligently on board still. There is no doubt about it that everybody is giving their best. But what is the general perception of how the things are and how the things will be, to move ahead with the present right now? What is the fear and what is it, sir, in the minds of the people?
Sir, what I have got the crux of the matter, this is after talking to X number of mariners, my colleagues, my comrades or my crew with whom I've sailed for X number of years. I've been making a courtesy call to all of them, first and foremost to ask like how they are and how their family, etc., etc. Main topic comes is that like what is going to happen, because things are very uncertain. As I said earlier, as I reiterated, was the people who do not have an immediate financial constraint may want to step back till such time they see how the curve is basically subsiding, as long as it's not spiking. The second lot of people, or the mariners who really have a kind of a financial crunch, because when we talk about the corporate sector, if somebody wants to venture out into it, there are scarcity of jobs even in the shore organization. Even if we take for that matter our shipping companies, there is always, they are trying to curtail the manpower. So that is adversely affecting the morale of a seafarer, number one. Number two, the owners or the charterers and the operators, their conjecture or the way they look at it, they have to run the vessels, they have to do the business. From their point of view, they are right. But for somewhere down the line, if we cannot send our own mariners from the Indian front, then obviously we have lots of countries looking at it from the Hawkeye point of view. What I've interacted with few of my colleagues who are working in the renowned shipping companies, and what I've been given to understand that now the crew is being perhaps getting outsourced from Burma, Thailand to a certain extent, and maybe China and few other countries. Number one. Number two, obviously, when the owners look at it from this point of view, they look at the ergonomics of the economics. An Indian seafarer, if I talk about myself as a master, I draw NX sum basis my seniority. But if there's another national who could do the same job, deliver the similar kind of competency, then why would any owner hire me? That is the thing what we need to talk about, or also we need to worry about. So, like what happens is like, they say the history repeats itself. When I look back at the 80s, because of the scarcity, there were umpteen number of times that even the masters who were, say, about 20 years in command or something, they were also asked to take a slash or take a drop in their wages with respect to the present seniority. Now, the people had done it at that point of time. There could be a scenario, I'm not saying it will be there, but there is a probability. The probability, as I look at it, seems pretty high that the owners, charterers, or operators or managers, they may ask us to take a slash. Well, I think something better than nothing. We may perhaps have to. I am not trying to advocate this, but looking at it from an open perspective, on the global front, the global scenario, I think things are going to change, and perhaps this may account towards a new normal. As it is said earlier, that change is only constant. If we all can live with that, with the change, because that's only constant, and this is what it is probably going to culminate into this kind of. Hello.
Your voice was just broken here just now, sir. What I would request you right now, if we can just focus on the mariner right now, how would you guide a mariner who's on board to be motivated under the present status quo? And we have to strive ahead, because we know that things are happening for repatriation. Many people are talking, too many newses are coming everywhere. Everything is happening and people are trying to do something, that's sure. But what can the mariner who's sitting on the ship, who does not have the direct access to a PMO, or like you are very regular to the PMO office and meeting the news channels and telling them what is happening. So what does a mariner who's sitting on a ship and in his cabin, or he's doing to work every day morning, how should he motivate himself right now?
To be very honest, I was coming on to this, but yes, good you interjected and asked me earlier. Captain Rahul, this definitely, I will not mince my words, it certainly is a very much uphill task. When you are talking about a mariner, I'm talking about a factual scenario, not involving any hypothesis. Let's say if I'm the master today, I've got a crew of 25 some odd people, and since I've liaised with the different nationals also, for the time being, to make the thing simpler, let's say I have all the Indian crew, and let's say all of them have expired contracts, and they are eager to go home, but because of these constraints of COVID-19, they have not been able to. The only thing I can do to boost their morale is to try to make the life much more congenial and happy, because as a master, I'm also human. I have my constraints. At the same time, I'm liaising with the company that first come, first served opportunity, as many crew can safely disembark from the port as possible, yes. But the main thing is, from the master's perspective, what I think, I'm not trying to advocate or advise anyone, what I would do is I would try to socialize, mingle with my crew. I would perhaps make sure that this barrier between master and the crew, that is not to be cited, because we are a team together, and we are on one ship itself together. We are sailing on the same boat. So there we have to be there socially involved with the crew, at the same time should have an accountability. Say for example, I get to know that one of the mariner, maybe an OS or AB or oiler, I'm just going on the lowest rank, because it sometimes becomes a little easier to explain the higher rank because of the sense of responsibility or the cadre from the hierarchy point of view. But if I talk about an oiler or a motorman or a AB or OS, I will have to go down to the brass tacks, be with him, and show him my solidarity, stating that, okay, I understand that we cannot sign off. Perhaps he may have some urgency at home, which could aggravate the matter. So I may have to, perhaps, honestly speaking, maybe I have to do a little bit of psychoanalysis and try to judge his wavelength and give him that sort of solace or sort of comfort what he's looking for, because at that point of time he needs somebody to be there by his side. Hello.
Yes.
So that's what, Captain Rahul, I would do if I were there in these, under these scenarios on board a crew. And what happens? This, once you do this, this is something similar to a contagious disease. If they know as a master that the master is so considerate that he has gone up to the, that particular cadre, and when we talk about with the same particular gentleman at the same wavelength, and if I can, make him a part of me as a team and brew him with the confidence, I think I perhaps might have been doing my job. And once this word passes by, the crew morale starts getting the boosting of the crew morale definitely starts going on the up curve or gets enhanced. Yes, the external factors, when they can sign off, yes, what I would also do, whatever the communication I'm doing with the company, I would be posting it on the notice board to keep them appraised. Like, look, what we are doing now, this is it. So that would certainly perhaps try to maintain the peace and the tranquility on board.
Yeah, Captain Saab, as I would sum it up, that first part of our passage plan, that is the appraisal. The appraisal of the whole thing is that it is the people on board who themselves as a family need to be together. And I remember, I have this, I have been not a management student, but I read this as a management lesson in from Mahabharat, where they said that every evening when they both the sides used to go into their tents and they had to plan the battle strategy next day, it was never the senior who would speak first. It was always the junior most person who would speak first. And the reason for that was that if the senior spoke, if the eldest spoke, the juniors would never ever defy them or tell them they're wrong. So what they did, they always told the juniors to first speak, so that by the time it reaches the senior, the thought process of the juniors could be understood by the senior, and they would guide them what is best to be done. Now, just as I see at you, I look at you, many people have been talking of many things around the world, what should be done, what should not be done. And I did not want you to talk before because you have heard everybody's views now. You have heard the unions, you have heard the seafarers, you have seen the DG, you have heard the MMD, you have heard the owners, you have heard the charters, the port, the COVID regulations, everything. So now what would you think under these constraints of COVID-19? What extra measures and infrastructures can be built timely to protect the rights of these Indian seafarers? So what are the ways and means actually that we should put now so that the people, the sign-on, sign-off can be done in a proper way? So this would be the part of our passage planning now from the appraisal.
Okay, very good. Well said, Captain Rahul. Now the thing is that coming to the second point, for the, as far as the planning is concerned, of course, what I perceive, or what I understand, that, of course, as we speak, the DG Shipping is doing pretty handsome job, and they're trying to facilitate to swap over the mariners for sign-on and sign-off respectively. At the same time, I also understand, because as I said earlier, that I'm also trying to liaise with few media personnel. I would not name them. And when I say that, I'm also trying to liaise with some media channels to bring our kind of thing, to basically highlight our own prerogative into the media, At the same time, we should also, I know there are lots of autonomous bodies from a maritime industry are trying to liaise with the Minister of Shipping and the Government of India to facilitate this. The job what they're doing is definitely commendable under the given circumstances, and how we could facilitate, because to the best of my knowledge, what I understand that we will have to bring this to media, we will have to bring it to into the media in such a manner that we get some sort of a reservation in a channel where we are being talked about. Like for example, when I said earlier at the beginning of my this Gupshup chat that when we hear everywhere and anywhere on the media COVID, it gets it's a self-inculcation into our mind, and it governs our thoughts process also. Likewise, when I did my management thing, the one mantra which I was taught about was how to manage your manager. Now, conversely speaking, I am trying to persevere. I'm persevering to try to work on this particular aspect to bring this thing into the media, and media should start focusing on our own problems, our own domains, by virtue of which the government of India will have to do. Of course, I'm not saying they're not doing anything. They are still doing something. But then they will be also on front foot, bit more proactive, because we as a are also bringing lots of forex into the country. Reciprocatingly or reciprocatively, the government of India, which they are doing it, but I understand because of the international constraints, they do not have that sort of reach as what we had perceived earlier. So what I'm presently thinking from my perspective, when I look at our own fraternity or maritime community, that we will have to knock the doors of media, and as we say, I'm trying to persevere. I'm persevering to endure through this passage. What I'm planning, I'm going to endure through this, and hopefully, optimistically, the day we make mark, we will be getting perhaps the news on the channel regarding our maritime fraternity, that what all challenges what we face. Because one thing is for sure, media does everything for the TRP, but once they have a hot potato or hot spot, they certainly would like to capitalize on them, and that's something I'm planning to give it to them.
Well, of course, media is a very powerful tool today, and they do pick up the proper signals to take up a news. Obviously, they are in the business of spreading news also, and they have to spread good news and bad news, both of them together. And of course, they also help people like us and you to spread the awareness about various topics also, and help us in the best way. So let us say that is one part of the execution of the passage plan that we are talking. So the next questions that we come about is, how can we come together as seafarers community and highlight the precarious working environment under which we have been left under COVID-19 constraints, and what and how we impress upon our governance as far as indemnification of an Indian seafarer rights is concerned. One thing which I would like to add here is that I have also requested DG to look into the PNI insurance and the PNI cover, which every company is now providing, with respect to the fact that COVID is going to stay for some time till we find a proper vaccine or things like that for it. And people might get sick or may get infected by COVID even after they reached home, and maybe after 14, 15 days, 20 days also, and may have a severe effect because of it. So how will the PNI cover help us in that? So the crux of the question is, how do we execute the plan of making sure, apart from the media use, that our government, and how do we think and how do we bring about our suggestions from the ships also, from the families of the seafarers also, in order to make sure that their best interest is safeguarded, sir?
Captain Rahul, as what I understand, perhaps the time is coming, or maybe it has come. It's becoming a bit imperative as we speak to highlight the concerns of mariners community to the government of India. Earlier, some stances taken, the better. I will chalk it out in few points. Number one, when we talk about the indemnification of an Indian mariner or a seafarer, it is not only from the job perspective, that point of view, or securing a job or job surety. It is also about in case the mariner or the seafarer gets affected by the COVID-19, then what are the indemnification measures which should be taken or proactively enforced upon to help him, to facilitate him as far as the survival is concerned. And that's where we come to a common point, what you just mentioned regarding that you have been liaising with a PNI. That's a very good thought, a food for thought. So if we can club in together, of course, from my point of view, what I think, because I'm not a lawyer and not a legal like the way you are, from my point of view, I will try my level best to try to highlight all the constraints, whether it's a job surety or a COVID indemnification when a seafarer is joining. Because if all of us take a back foot that no, sort of chalta hai kind of attitude, end of the day, today, like how we had in a way, when I talk about the European seafarers, how we had kind of replaced them. When I say replace them, I do not mean any offense such. I'm saying because from the owner charter's point of view, they look at the cheapest and the best. But at the same time, there has to be a benchmark which has to be delineated. So, coming to this point, we as Indian seafarers over the years have proven that, we are perhaps the best in the market, or we can compete with the best of the best. Now, that's where we will have to do something, some sort of infrastructure development, by virtue of which liaising with the government of India and trying to push them in a proactive manner that they should take a stance of a mariner from the country and his safe repatriation to the country is concerned. Till such time, yes, somebody has to be kept accountable for, whether it is for his job security or repatriation of the mariner, and or during the transit or while being on board for some reason if he gets affected. That reminds me a story. A batchmate of mine, he is also a very good persona and personality in the media. He is a master also. He was in Brazil and he was on an FPSO, and he got affected with the COVID-19. Of course, he was immediately evacuated. He was treated, plus he was kept under 21 odd days of quarantine. And now the company for which he is working, I'm not going to name the company, I'm not advertising for any company. The company which is there is also a very renowned company. They looked after him, and now they are planning to get him repatriated back to India once the flights schedules are open, or probably they are going to tie up with a charter's flight. So when I talk about that, yes, to share a little bit about myself, yes, I've worked for almost 18 years with oil majors like Mobil and Chevron, and their modus operandi was like they really walk the talk. If they made some rules, regulation, come what may, they will follow the lead and also ensure what they said, they mean what they say. So we need right now, presently, as far as the companies are concerned, the shipping companies.
Sir, We can just increase the outlook of our thing from the Indian perspective to a seafarer perspective. Mr. Vettel, who was from SUI, the Seafarer Union of India, he has asked, do you think that IMO and other such major organizations, do they have to also think a bit more towards our implement? Let's go broad, let's not only talk about India right now, let's talk about the seafarers.
Yes,
So
I
would
get your
say
point. I understand, Captain Rahul. Very good question. Yes, when we talk about our profession, of course, everything and anything is governed by the IMO. And as I see what I've read in the media, what I've seen on the net, and few other things, what I scroll through, I think IMO also has to take a very, maybe to a certain extent, an assertive stance for the indemnification of the seafarer. And once the IMO definitely comes into the picture, I believe the owners and operators, starting from the flag state class and owners operators, will also be obligated to follow the suit. Therefore, yes, IMO is the main key player, of course. IMO has to play its part for indemnification of the seafarer internationally, and then of course coming to flag state and then coming to each and every country respectively.
okay, sir, let us now move on to the course of our passage plan. As you know, we have done the appraisal, we have done the planning, we have done the execution. You have been there in the industry for such a long time, and you have seen the ups and downs of how the Indian seafarer has been employed, how the Indian seafarers have gained popularity, and because of people like you who have worked so hard, we in our times we had a glorious time getting a job. And between the 95 or 96 to 2006 time, we really enjoyed that great time because of the great name that people had created before us, and we benefited a lot from it. So what do you think, how does a ship owner operator look upon the utility and importance of hiring our increased competition with nationalities? So of course, we are all looking at a seafarer, but of course, as an Indian seafarer community, as an Indian seafarer, simple seafarer, what is your advice to us that how we should improve ourselves? What should be better taught to us so that we can still be best and we still be a competition, even if most probably we have some more stringent rules or higher salaries, whatever it is. But still, the owner or charterer would prefer an Indian crew, Indian officer on board. What is that extra mileage we need to go, sir?
Captain Rahul, what in my view is that, of course, we have been proven weathered mariner for at least 3 plus, maybe 4 decades or so. We have proven our grit in past 4 plus decades. But now the time has come where an owner, when I look at it from the owner's perspective, yes, owner wants to run the ship safely, economically, and make the profit, and likewise the charter. That's what is how the industry works, or any industry, because end of the day, the profits have to be made and have to be shared. Now, when we talk about from that point of view, excuse me, when we talk about it from that point of view, my foresightedness tells me, coming back from the old school thoughts, that yes, we may have to take a bit slash as far as our salaries are concerned. We may have to, because if we can give that sort of preposition to the owner, then owner definitely would think, because if he's paying some X amount to one national and what he's paying is, let's say, X plus 30% or 40%, I'm just giving an example. And if we can make that X plus, say, 10% or 15% or 20%, depends, then obviously we are giving an owner something to think about, that yes, that he wouldn't be penny wise pound foolish to hire a national or a nationality which does not have so far any proven track record. Contrary to that, when we talk about our own fraternity, our own mariners, our own seafarers community, it has been a proven track record. So I believe in his own wise decision making, perhaps the owner may still think of walking a mile extra with us. That's what I would think.
I would suggest the same because, any business or any simple business, when you have trusted people for a long time, the trust is not expected to be broken by a snap. It takes a lot of time for people to in a business to judge people and all. There have been instances before, though, I would say, where people have snapped ties and they have just removed one nationality from all of their ships and put another nationality on that ship. But in today's time, as a teamwork, as Captain Ritesh Mehra very clearly told, they would always prefer to have a mix of some type of crew, usually maximum 3 nationalities I normally suggest, not more than that, so that people can mix and their owners and charters may have the best choice at all the time. So I think, sir, as you very correctly said, we have to all think of a problem on a common perspective. The bad time is for you, bad time is for me, the bad time is for the seafarer, the bad time is for the owner, bad time is for the charterer, bad time is for the agent, the bad time is for the government also. So if we think all around like this, that somebody is losing 10 rupees, somebody is losing 100, somebody 1000, somebody 1 lakh, and somebody else 1 crore. It is the amount which is only differentiating, but not the loss. Everybody is losing something.
Kevin, now it's coming back from your perspective, you being a lawyer, of course, it's something like a general average, where everybody has to share the part of the loss in that portion, pro rata.
Very true. So general average is what the aspect which we have to look at for everybody, and then only we can be happy to share a little and more depending on what is our contribution there. Okay, let's move on to the. Oh, sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
And what I understand, what I see, of course, you see, today when we talk about any walk of industry you talk about, whether it's a shipping or banking or finance or anything, the first thing where a candidate is getting interface, the initial interface is not because of his core subject or technical know-how. It is, but he or she is getting first interface by the HR. Now, when we talk about the HR basically looks at what? The attitude. If the person concerned has a proactive, positive attitude, then obviously the job is done. And as we all know, if we add up attitude, that is the only thing which sums up to 100%. Not even the skill, not even the your aptitude. It's the attitude which sums up to 100%. So in this particular scenario, if we show a little bit of proactive approach with a positive attitude and we are ready to take a minimal undercut, we are giving an owner a kind of a different perspective by virtue of which he would not like to let us go, because he is also taking undercut somewhere down the line. So it will make an owner, a wise owner I'm talking about, think like a team that yes, this particular community or this particular nationality we were hiring and we were paying them X amount, and today they are ready to take X minus whatever the percentage less. So that shows a positive approach and a proactive attitude.
Right, sir. Let's move on to the passage what you have very nicely brought us to here. Now let us review the whole thing and for the future passages that we need to make. So what do you think is the future of Indian Marina? 10 years, I think, becomes too much now to talk these days in time, because a lot of things change in the world in 10 years now. Let's say if we even have to talk for next 55 years or something like that, what would be the scenario of Indian seafarers and how do you think we are moving towards it to make sure that we are still there and making the most out of it?
Sir, the trade will happen, the ships certainly will move, but think is that who's going to man the ship or who's going to be employed on the ships? The way I see, I'm looking at it from a very short perspective now, because presently, because of this COVID-19, we have come into a transition period. Transition period, when I say, it's the things are not the same what they were, say, about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. It's a new normal which has been created.
Very sudden big change.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What things were, say, about 4 months ago, they are not the same. So it's a new normal which has been created, and the aura around that has to be, we all have to get acclimatized to that. Be it from a health point of view, be it from a financial point of view, be it from a professional point of view, or be it from a job security point of view. Because yes, when we talk about it, in the present scenario, there are constraints for the job scarcity. As far as the job scarcity and the employment is concerned, it is by and large, if not in leaps and bounds, it certainly is getting curtailed. And that's where I see, if we take, let's say, 10 years, a decade is a bit way too long. And optimistically, as we are reading in the media and looking at the news, that somewhere down the line, perhaps by the beginning or the middle of the next year, there could be a vaccine which lots of countries, US, India, probably China and few other countries are working on it. Once it is done, then probably it won't happen all of a sudden. It will still take probably few more years the things to get settled down. Whether you talk about the deficits that taken place so far, or starting a new enterprises or entrepreneurship, things are right now very much in a volatile manner or scenario, as what I understand.
Very nice, sir. So, we are trying to, as I requested you, you are well connected to the PMO office, you are connected to a lot of media agencies, you have been on TV also. And I request you to look at the perspective of the Indian seafarer, and whatever best you can do for us, please do. And I'm sure with your own credentials, I don't have to tell you what has to be done. But this was just a forum where I thought some of the like-minded people might come. And I request all of you to please put up some questions if there are, or some suggestions that we can talk about. We have enough time though. I don't have any time constraint on this, because this is app Gupshup-in, which has been given by the IT people to me to use. And I have no limitation of time. But certainly we all have other jobs also. So another 10 minutes is what I would suggest we are there to discuss further. And I can always put on the audio, but it always becomes too much of commotion when too many people start talking. So I request if you can type your question here, your suggestion here in the comment box, in the public chat, so that I can discuss further. Okay. So, okay, if you perform, you demand for the stars and the moon. Our kids also ask for iPhone when they score good marks. We have been asking for many things because we have been demand because of some great Indian seafarers worked when they were recruited. We work, then our future generations will definitely get recruited, even with all demands. Well, I have no doubt to say that when I joined the sea in 93 and I became an officer in 98, I had a pretty decent time, and there were companies who were looking for me because of our education, because of our 36 months of sea time that we have done on ship and our experience, and because we had masters and managers who were Indians that time, and the baton was being handed over from the various nationalities to Indians, and that is how. And of course, 12, 13 years I was the DPA, where I used most of the time Indians, but there were some times when I had to use some other nationalities because of the budget constraints. And it was only the budget constraint which I remember, which was the most important for me. Otherwise, for all practical purposes, I would prefer to use all Indians at any time. Captain sir?
Sir, I'd like to add up something. Being a old sea dog, I'm definitely trying, I'm definitely going to keep on trying to put in my share to the profession which has given me so much. And I have written few books, as I said earlier, what you introduced me to also. And the reason I was initially thinking to get the book published, but then I said, no, it's not right, because I must contribute something to the seafarers. And that's the reason I've started uploading loads of lectures on the YouTube for the benefit of our seafarers. And I'm going to keep on doing it irrespective of what books I write, but I'm going to share the knowledge for free under my banner of Marine Quest Solutions on YouTube, so I can do some sort of contribution positively. Till such time, I'm trying to find my own bearings ashore.
Very nice, sir. And of course, one question is here where people are asking that, do you think the pandemic situation has been blown out of proportion or something like that? I would not like to say that it has blown out of proportion, because there are many things which have to be, spoken with a much more strong voice, and so that people will adhere to them. And knowing our people, knowing the education system in our country, knowing the people who are literate in our company and illiterate in our company, it's very important for us to highlight such a thing like COVID in a very strong word and try to be more stern rather than a more caring kind of a person in such situations. Captain sir, what do you think with the present scenario? Even if I don't know, because I also get same information from the newspapers and the media which you get, and maybe you are more closer to the media, that's why you may know better. But do you think this situation is blown out of proportion, or it is just the way it has been implemented in a stern way that people are thinking that is it too much or not?
Look, this is something, we are getting the information, free flow of information from the media, and of course, the way I would construe that, what has been shown on the media, I will take what I think. I will be selective about it. I'm not going to discard it. I'm not going to accept it fully. I'll take it as sort of middle path till such time I carry out my own personal assessment. Of course, with a virus like COVID, we cannot take chances, because prevention is better than cure. And if we are doing the prevention and like what our great PM Saab has said, like, the lockdown 4, I feel blessed under the governance of the present PM Modi Saab, that he had taken the measures well in advance. Otherwise, a country like India, we did not have so many, medical facilities, the medical infrastructure. Had these perhaps 4 lockdowns not been imposed upon us, and had we also not contributed, exercising due diligence to follow it as per Modi Saab's guideline, I really do not know where we would have been. Perhaps it would have been a catastrophical scenario. Therefore, in my own strong words, yes, I do adhere and concur to what has been said by the government, our own good government, and somewhere down the line they have managed to save many lives. I'm not going with the curve how it is spiking up. Now think about it, if we had not followed the GOI's guidelines or their instructions, probably the graph we would have been in number 1 scenario. Like when we talk about US, no offense meant, but look at the graph where it has shot up to, and US being such a big superpower, they have the best of the best medical facilities and the best of the best infrastructure, which we still lag behind. The only savior was as the implementation of lockdown, which was very fantastically executed. Of course, we do not live in a perfect world. There's always an iota of critics. I'm not going on that. I'm going on the positive side. So yes, of course, we cannot say something about being a natural calamity, or it's a whatever the different schools of thought are talking about, maybe a biological weapon or whatever we are listening on the media. Yes, I would not go for any heed as far as that is concerned. I would be very much interested about my and my family's health, and I certainly would take all the precautions as far as humanly possible.
Captain Saab, I would now try to take a poll, and the question in the public chat is there. So I'll start the poll and we'll see how it goes from there.
Yes, sir.
So this is the question. So if there are any more questions for people, please let me know. Yes or no. Kindly poll for that. Or else in next few minutes, we will stop. So if you have any question, please put it on the public chat so that we can see that. Can you please poll and put your responses here, please? Or else in next few minutes, 10 minutes, we would like to wind off. Otherwise, please put your questions so that we can take. So anybody who has said yes, please put your question there on the public chat so that we can take that question. I request rest of the people also to poll here. Okay, if you have a question, please put the question here on the public chat, please. I don't see a question. We hope that sooner, next 1 week or something, when Captain Puneet has more time and we get more feedback from you, we would love to again call him back on our show. And he has also got published some YouTube channels on the YouTube on hydrodynamics, which I really wonder, how much time he would have given himself to make that such a technical subject, and for us to understand it much more easier. So I request you to visit that also. And if there will be any other areas, and once we know that what action he has taken, we would like to also send you across the details of that, so that we have the idea how this forum and some of the ideas and the questions which come up can be put up to the government also and to the other authorities, so that they can look at the proper action to be taken on behalf of us. With that, Captain Puneet, I would like to thank you a lot, and I request you to give a final word. And after that, by next few minutes, 3-4 minutes, we would like to wind off also. Please, final words from you.
I feel honored, and besides coming on the media, because you see, I'll just share a little bit of that, because when I used to come on the media, I used to be given 4-5 minutes for an extempore. I used to, very happily take it. But coming on the media, on the webinar, honestly, I've been a spectator all this while, attending almost for the last 2 months, quite a few webinars. But giving me a podium, it has given me to express my thought at the same time, exercising due diligence and also owning to the responsibility of what we talk and how positively we can constitute and collectively we can try to hold the forts and at the same time do something good for on mariners, the seafarers who are stuck, or the people who are probably not getting the jobs because of the scarcity of jobs. We need to have, this is the call for us to unite together. And when I say unite together, we don't have to see what we were. We have to see, basically, if we start from the brass tack, we are a seaman, a seafarer. We have to think it likewise, like the question which was very brilliantly put through to me by Captain Rahul, that how would I motivate a crew? And I took an example, just at a glance, that if it is a motorman or a navy, likewise, we will have to see the basic need, necessity of a seafarer. And if I think we are well off and we can contribute something to those mariners who for some God-forsaken reason or unfortunately have not been able to board the vessel, I think we should club in together and do something for our seafarers community and the profession, which has taught us a lot through all the thicks and thins, weathering all the storms under the blessings of God, Lord Neptune.
Thank
That's
you,
all
sir.
I have to say.
Thank you very much, sir. And I request all of you to put on your videos now. And we would like to see all of you. And if one by one we can have each one of you, I'll request each one of you who will be there to say a few words before we sign off. And that would be what I would request. So I request all of us to please put on our videos, please. Okay, Mr. Vipul from SCUI, before, can you have some words? Can we have some words from you on this? What has happened? And you are also a major player who is helping the seamen, and you are helping to get the things right. So, can you give me a few inroads into whatever we are doing? I cannot hear you, Mr. Can you unmute yourself? I don't know, but please check if you have unmuted yourself. I have unmuted everybody, so anybody can speak now. Can you speak? I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Okay, for the moment, let me just come to Captain Ritesh Mehra. Let me see. Captain Ritesh, can you please unmute? Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
You are unmuted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you very clearly, sir.
Puneet sir, good evening. Nice webinar, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I really wanted to request you before this. There was something I was involved in after I had with you, and it has been producing results. I know there are a lot of seniors here. So just to share what has been going and what has been going on national level, how we can restrict a lot of things from the government, and it will happen. But in the meantime, there are certain things we can do which are making difference, which can make more difference. Please, simplest of things I've been doing is I've been talking all the people. Not much fancy, nothing very big. Only I've been talking to people. And while talking, they have been releasing their inner anxiety out. They're only stressed out. If they have issues at home, they have been opening out on that. And in the process, I've been ensuring that they don't do any stupid things which will hamper the seafarer's future.
We can hear you.
On a longer run.
Captain Ritesh, I'm sorry, we could not hear you very clearly, but let me tell you.
Neither could I. I'm sorry. I also could not hear it properly.
No problem. No problem.
Now can you hear me now?
Question. The thing is that yes, you are the mental wellness of the people, and this has actually prompted us in January to start the initiative along with Neboxel, the recruitment and talent search company, and we are now having this Nira Wellness, where we have been carrying out these wellness programs for sailors, seafarers, and I myself have been talking to a lot of seafarers who have called me from phone on WhatsApp. And in fact, just now while I was talking also, there were 4 or 5 seafarers have been calling me and asking me for some of the help. And I also do the same thing as you do, that whatever best I can talk to them, at least I can give them some motivation on how to be peaceful on board. I can assure you that whatever little I am looking at people and the union, the DG and the MMD and the shipping, I know it's a tough task. And I know people expect everything and we want everything also. We should get it also. Why should we not? But the fact is,
this is the time for us to pay back what we have earned. It's a time for our senior mariners. That's what I would take it, is to pay back to the profession, to the community which has given us so much.
And that is why, you know, sir, whatever best I can do, in fact, just for information, although I have not revealed it in public, I'm actually in touch with about 6-7 different people all over the world, in Iran, in UAE, in Brazil, and a couple of other places. And I've been liaising with the seafarer clubs of the local areas out there and trying to get them help by food and things like that. So whatever small and little each one of us can do here, each one of
God
us.
gracious, God bless you. That's a very noble thing you're doing, Captain Rahul. I'm also doing it, but I do not intend to declare here because that's something I'm doing for a noble cause. That
Yes.
I know it, my heart knows it, and anonymously I'm doing all that without any, expecting any dividends whatsoever by grace of God.
So whatever we can do, let us try to do in our level also. Don't worry if it is small or it is big, but whatever good we can do, we should do. Mr. Vettil, can we hear you again? Are you there,
Yeah,
sir?
I can hear him. I can hear
Now
you,
I
sir.
can hear you, sir. Please tell me, sir.
Yeah. Good evening to all, because I just came after 20 minutes of starting this session. So I heard Captain Puneet Malhotra's points and all. It's very well appreciable and very knowledgeable. So I am very much concerned about the marine seafarers and especially the crew, because they are on board. They are suffering lots of, they are not getting sign off at present. But our government also doing well to transfer all the repatriate the seafarers from abroad. So we already conveyed our message to the DGS and ministry and all that. We are very thankful to all the government activities, and especially Captain Puneet Malhotra. He had given so many, very knowledge about the shipping industry. That much we have to convey right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your appreciation. I don't know whether I'm worth it or not, but I'm just legitimately trying to share my past. That's all I do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Please, I
Thank
would
you,
like
sir.
to thank once again Captain Puneet for all your time, and we are so glad that you have taken out time for us, and we hope that you will take out some of these points which we have been able to share with you to the PMO office and the media people also, and we will hopefully, I don't expect a result immediately next week or something, but do keep me informed so that I can keep the audience informed at what we have done, and we would appreciate all your efforts and hope to get you back on the show maybe a week later or two after you have in your busy schedule some time for us.
Yes, sir.
Okay, gentlemen, all of and ladies and gentlemen who are there, can we move on and can I stop the meeting, or is there any other question finally to be asked here? Any other questions, or can you just say a thank you to Captain Puneet, please, all of you in the chat box, please? And I'm sure you will have a lot of feedback, but you can send that to me in my email ID. But for the moment, please thank our senior fraternity master mariner for last 2 decades from 1979, mariner and entrepreneur, and also a person who's educating us now in various ways. Thank you a lot, sir. And please keep
I also thank you all and thank all the participants. They took their precious time out to listen to our Gupshup chat, and in particular, thank you all, Captain Rahul and your associates, for holding such a fantastic podium, and that is made in India. I salute you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And on behalf of our media partner, Nevoxel Recruitment and Talent Agencies, our IT partner, Brood Sport Services, and our reality partner, Winning Paths, I thank you a lot, and God bless you. Stay happening, stay healthy, stay happy. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Good day to all. Thank you. God bless you all, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.